Hello, witches. I am spending the Saturday afternoon doing a ton of baking and trying to clean up some messes and stuff like that. So I thought I would do a quick video and call it the Stations of a Witch. What helps me to be able to maintain having a practice and also having a quite large family that I have to take care of and cook for and all of that. The way that I make things a little bit easier and more manageable to kind of blend the two is that stuff like this, I have stations of making things easier for myself. For example, if I can't get to everything, I think a lot of people who try to manage life and a practice tend to get overwhelmed because they try to do everything to completion. So I have what I call kind of stations. For example, things like baskets and glass jars I have in like certain places where I can reach a whole bunch of them, and I can use them in a way that I can put kind of anything in them, and it makes what might be otherwise a mess more nice looking and easier to manage. For example, today when I was cleaning, I just grabbed a couple baskets. I'm not prepared to yet cut this pineapple up yet or use this yet. This is a canary melon, by the way. I accidentally cooked one of these thinking it was a spaghetti squash because I was in a rush one day and I grabbed it thinking it was a spaghetti squash, and it wasn't. And when I cooked it, it turned into a big mush pile, and I was like, what is this? And then so I have to try it now because I've never had a canary melon. So I'll just put stuff into a basket to make it easier to kind of deal with it being a mess. I have stuff like this, which I keep, if you look inside here, I don't know if you guys can see it. I have, you can't really see it. You can see some of them hanging out. I keep the outer papery onion peels and garlic peels. Those are excellent in prosperity magic. I don't recommend burning in the house because the onion for me is very, very irritating to my eyes. But so I keep it until it's like filled up, and then I transfer it to something else until I'm ready to use it. So I have stuff like that all over the place. I have the baskets. I have this. I have under here is like another overflow of stuff that needs to be put away that I hadn't put away yet. And then I have always going, I have my eggshells being dried out, the ones that aren't dry yet or ready to be crushed. I keep those under here. I always have baskets of drinks. I keep all the drinks so that I can keep my fridge stocked with water, and I've been drinking a lot of kombucha. I used to watch Jackie Dubois on making your own kombucha, but I have found a delicious flavor that I love, which is this one, raspberry chia. I love the ones with the chia seeds in them, and whenever I find this flavor, I stock up because it's really hard to get. But for those of you who don't know and are into probiotics, this is excellent drink for your health. It's got lots of probiotics. I think if you get a homemade version, it actually has some alcohol in it, but the one at the grocery store doesn't. You can buy this at Whole Foods. It's extremely healthy for you if you're trying to detox and get away from processed foods and stuff like that, which I am. So yeah. I have been listening to a lot of stuff about just how toxic a lot of our foods are. I didn't know this, but I recently was told by someone who is a licensed nutritionist. He's an older man, and he actually used health food naturalism, going back to the ancient ways of eating. And he was diagnosed with terminal cancer when he was, I think, in his 60s. And he's now 89, I believe. And he had it, the cancer was everywhere. And he used methods of sweating it out and dosing himself with high quantities of vitamins and stuff like that. And he actually ended up living more than 20 years, and that no cancer has ever returned. So, very interesting. But I didn't know that if they pasteurize milk and then refeed it to the baby cow, that same milk from its own mother will kill it, which is very interesting, I thought. And it tells you just how bad our food can be. I have this little hangy thing, which is for bananas, but I use it for sometimes to hang up towels, face cloth, stuff to dry, or I use it to hang anything that, like a fruit or a vegetable that has a vine. I grind my own pepper, and I love Himalayan pink salt. That is awesome for you. It's one of the few salts that is still natural and doesn't have that problem with being bleached and needing iodine and all that. It's a natural salt, very good for you too. And I guess Celtic sea salt is the same thing. It doesn't have all the typical yucky stuff that others do. So the things that I use a lot, I buy in bulk. I keep jars available at all times. Glass jars I prefer, but sometimes stuff like this. I have protein powder in here. When I have like anything opened that I only have a little bit left of, like for example, I had a giant coconut bag of dried coconut, and I save all kinds of different sizes and shapes of jars to, when you have a little bit of something at the end and you don't want to throw it away, but you don't want to have to eat it. This is a good way to kind of save it and put it to better use. So I have like small little jars like this for a lot of stuff. And another thing I do is I have overflow in jars. I keep the stuff I need to use for cooking and witching out and easily available, so I can just grab it. I have the whole cloves of garlic here. I have the little pieces that I didn't use yet in here. And stuff that I may need to supply over near the stove, I keep extra up here. I keep the more toxic kind of things that I use for witching, witchcraft stuff over here. This is Angelica. It's really dangerous in high doses, or you only use this in very small doses. It used to be used also for, I think, abortions, but for afterbirth to help with the cramping and stuff like that. Chia seeds, I have extra bay leaves and all that kind of stuff up here. Candles. So, so I keep, and then over here, I keep the ends of the cereal. And then when I have a whole bunch of them, sorry, there's an ambulance going by. When I have a bunch, I go outside and I either dump it in the compost pile or feed it to the birds. I have started a small kind of compost pile that nobody really can see yet. It's like in the midst of a bunch of weeds, and I just throw compost stuff there. I don't yet throw any kinds of meat or anything like that, just basically stuff like breads, cereals. I save the eggs. Fruits and vegetables mostly. I'm making 2 different kinds of custard. I'm making a regular custard on the top, and I'm making a healthy egg white custard on the bottom. And I have it in a pan of water, because when you make it the healthy way, you have to steam it. So what else? Another thing I've been using a lot of is baking soda. You can use that to do tons of stuff around your house, clean your toilets. You can drink it in small quantities, use it for cooking and cleaning just about everything, brushing your teeth. So I have, see how nice the jars and bottles can look on a shelf. And then when you have like a little bit of vinegar left, or a little bit of oil, or you want to make an oil with some rosemary in it or some kind of herb in it, it looks really nice on a shelf, and you have the bottles available when you need them. So I have little jars and vases and all kinds of stuff all over the house for quick use. Here I have a box filled with my recycles, so that every time I have a small amount, I don't have to run out to the recycle bin. So in here is the overflow for that stuff. And I have a basket where I keep extra bread, baskets everywhere. I keep the menus and things like that in a little organized basket too. Appliances that I don't use very often, I don't need to keep in the kitchen and take up space. So I keep like my juicer in here. I keep my kitchen scales to measure meat is over there. I've been not eating very much meat, mostly just fish. I have a small nut crusher electric thing here, but I have a big crusher that I actually have been preferring to that. I have all the Tupperware stuff over here, and if I don't have glass, I do prefer to keep stuff in glass, you know, like my herbs and nuts and stuff, but I have overflow over here. I have my, what do you call those things? Crock pots, and you know, the plastic kind of stuff, and extra nuts, plastic bags and things like that. I keep extra dishes under here, but the main ones that I use are just mostly in the kitchen. Coffee grinding, and I have empty coffee containers for when I grind my own coffee. That way it's nice and fresh and healthy, and you can keep it in the freezer if you want it to stay super fresh. Pasta maker, I confess I haven't used it. I inherited that from somebody, and I've been wanting to make my own. I have made gnocchi myself, but I wasn't too happy with it. It was kind of big when I made it, and I thought it was just too big looking. So apparently I have to roll it really, really tiny. I have rice in a giant jar over here, brown rice. I have to stock up on some more brown. I'm running out. Yeah, and picnic basket is a nice decorative way to store stuff too. If you happen to be out thrifting and you see picnic basket, I keep my tablecloths in the picnic basket. You can keep whatever you want in there, you know, but it looks cute. Nice place to keep maybe pocketbooks or your belts, you know, something that you don't necessarily want to have take up space in a closet. So I have my teas that I don't drink every day in this room, but they're close enough that if I do want one, I can come in, and my extra teapots and things like that. So I don't know, hopefully this is kind of helpful. But yeah, I always have, like, you know, a whole station of stuff going on. Under here in my witching cabinet, I have stuff that I don't use every day as far as my practice. I have my empty jars are in that one over there. And then out on the porch, I have eggshells drying in a larger container. If you see right there, that silver container is the ones that are almost ready to be crushed up and put into jars. And yeah, so that's how I kind of like have things that I don't necessarily have time to complete. You know, some people actually try to go through the whole process of every time they use eggs, they dry them and then they crush them and they go through the whole thing each and every time. But, you know, for regular practitioners, that really takes up a lot of unnecessary time. You might as well just, you know, have the whole process. Hi, baby. Hi. Have the whole process going. This is my little guy. He loves going outside for walks on his leash. And he comes to the door when he sees me coming to the door. And he says, "Want to go for a walk?" He walks down the street just like a dog on a leash. So adorable. People always stop and they wonder, like, what is that creature? He really likes walking at dusk when it's pretty dark and the bats are kind of out. He's a little bit more cautious during the day. So, yeah, it's really fun. I love taking him for walks. Oh, he's so sweet. I love him. So, I guess maybe it's just my ADD, but I like doing it that way because that way I can do a lot of stuff at once in bulk, like when I'm drying stuff. In fact, maybe today or tomorrow I will I'll go harvest some of the mint because it's already flowering, a lot of it. And if you guys want to come out real quick and see the garden, I shall show you. It's actually gotten, watch out, Tycho. No. It's gotten cooler out compared to what it was the other day. See, compared to my foot, how huge my leaves are. I don't remember if this is the watermelon or not. I planted so many things and I didn't think to, I probably said this last year too. I didn't put the labels. So this could be watermelon, squash, zucchini, something like that. It's one of those big vine growing kind of plants. I have mint up here and down there that I have to harvest. Hi, kitty. Here's my kitty. And there's the ferret. My little guys, my little cuties. I love them. So that's about it, guys. And I hope you liked the video. Blessed be. Bye.